Middle East, the land of endless conflicts. Introduction. The Middle East, the mere mention of the name, evokes images of arid deserts, sacred shrines, and, not least, protracted wars. This land has long been the epicenter of numerous large and small-scale conflicts throughout modern history. One might ask, why does the Middle East so often descend into chaos? The answer is not simple. It is a complex intersection of geopolitics, religion, natural resources, and external influences. This article delves deeply into the core causes of the conflicts in the Middle East, aiming to provide a clearer understanding of one of the world's most sensitive and volatile regions. The Middle East and its strategic geopolitical position. The Middle East sits at the crossroads of three continents: Asia, Europe, and Africa. It also borders vital maritime routes like the Suez Canal and the Strait of Hormuz. With this unique location, the Middle East has long been of military and commercial strategic interest to many empires and global powers. The desire to control this land has never waned, from ancient empires such as the Romans, Persians, and Ottomans, to modern powers like Britain, France, the United States, and Russia. Whoever controls the Middle East can exert significant influence over the global economy, particularly due to its vast oil reserves. This has turned the region into a hotbed of international power struggles, with major powers frequently intervening, manipulating, and sometimes even resorting to direct military action. Oil, a blessing and a curse. With over half of the world's oil reserves concentrated in the Middle East, this resource is both a blessing and a curse. While it has brought wealth to some countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar, it is also a deep-rooted cause of many wars and political upheavals. Conflicts such as the Gulf War, 1990 to 1991, the 2003 invasion of Iraq, and instability in Iran and Syria are all at least partially linked to oil interests. The keen interest of external powers like the United States, Russia, and China in the region's oil fields has further destabilized internal politics, as these powers continuously support opposing factions to secure their own economic and strategic goals. Religious and ethnic conflicts. No discussion of the Middle East is complete without addressing the role of religion and ethnicity. The region is the cradle of three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Within Islam itself, there is a deep division between the two main sects, Sunni and Shia, leading to centuries-long tensions. The Sunni-Shia rift is not just a religious issue, but also a geopolitical power struggle, especially between countries like Saudi Arabia, Sunni, and Iran, Shia. Proxy wars in Yemen, the Syrian civil war, and tensions in Bahrain and Iraq are all deeply influenced by this sectarian rivalry. Ethnic issues, such as the plight of the Kurds, an ethnic group without a state, have fueled long-standing conflicts in Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Iran. Israel-Palestine, an unsolvable knot. Since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, the Middle East has entered a new era of conflict that continues to this day. Palestinians have been dispossessed of their land and forced to leave their homeland, while Jews view the territory as their promised land. Arab-Israeli wars, 1948, 1967, 1973, the Intifadas, airstrikes on Gaza, and recurring terrorist attacks have left the region in perpetual turmoil. Peace efforts like the Oslo Accords and the Arab Peace Initiative have failed due to mistrust, conflicting interests, and third-party interventions. Jerusalem, a city sacred to all three major monotheistic religions, has become a symbol of irresolvable tension. External intervention. Since the colonial era, powers like Britain and France have divided the Middle East based on their own interests, ignoring religious and ethnic boundaries. After World War I, the Sykes-Picot Agreement carved up the former Ottoman territories into fragile and easily manipulated states. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the United States became the most prominent foreign actor. From supporting Israel, launching military interventions in Iraq and Afghanistan, to backing democratic movements during the Arab Spring, the U.S. presence has been both a beacon of hope and a source of instability. Russia is also deeply involved. With strategic interests in Syria, notably the Tartus naval base, Russia supports the Assad regime and opposes Western influence, turning the region into a proxy battleground for great powers. The Arab Spring: Hope and Collapse. In 2011, a wave of uprising spread across North Africa and the Middle East with the aim of toppling autocratic regimes and ushering in democracy and freedom. However, only a few countries like Tunisia managed to maintain gains. Others, like Libya, Syria, and Yemen, descended into chaos. The Arab Spring turned into a prolonged Arab winter, marked by civil wars, terrorism, and an unprecedented refugee crisis. The aftermath includes millions of deaths, tens of millions displaced, and deep political and social wounds. The rise of extremism. Long-term instability, combined with poverty, unemployment, and political repression, created fertile ground for extremist groups. Al-Qaeda, ISIS or ISIL, Hezbollah, and others have used religion to propagate their ideologies, recruit followers, and expand their influence. At its peak, ISIS controlled 1/3 of Iraq and Syria, establishing a self-proclaimed Islamic State. Although largely dismantled, the group's ideology and offshoots continued to destabilize the region and even spread to Europe and Asia. Climate change and water scarcity. An increasingly important but often overlooked factor is climate change and water scarcity. The Middle East is the driest region in the world. Scarce water resources from rivers like the Tigris, Euphrates, and Nile are potential flashpoints for interstate conflict. Climate change has led to droughts and desertification, forcing people to migrate and putting pressure on urban centers and limited resources. The combination of environmental and social factors will likely heighten instability in the near future.